Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. I decided to go live last minute, like I always do, always last minute, because I am home working today. I'm home writing. I'm digging around. I don't have any hearings today, no protests, no press conference, or press conferences so far. But I wanna go over the latest in some of these crazy stories that I have been reporting on this week, last week, etc. So let's start. Let's start with Timothy Busfield because I said from the start when I saw the news about the arrest warrant for him, I was like, I feel like this story is going to be bigger than than I think a lot of people realize. And yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, when it was reported that the U.S. Marshal Service joined the search for him, I was like, I told you guys this was going to be big. And I think a lot of people also thought because he was being searched for and he didn't turn himself in and no one heard from him, that possibly it was not going to end well for him or his wife or whoever. So yesterday, when the video surfaced that TMZ first posted, I was like, oh, okay, this is a weird explanation. I was also concurrently emailing with the Albuquerque, New Mexico police, and I kept refreshing the Vine link, or basically the Bernalillo County Jail link, to see if he, had been booked yet. But basically, he made the video, and the New Mexico police were like, hold on, he hasn't been booked yet, but now he has. And he is still in custody pending his first court appearance, which I would assume would be today, but we don't actually know yet. So I have reached out to his attorney. He does have an attorney per the docket. I'll get into that as well. But first, let's go and play the video from TMZ that Timothy posted, and then let's discuss it. I think it's a super awkward video. I have to say. I'll explain why. Okay. Uh,
Hi, everybody. It's Tim. I'm sure most of you know that are watching this that I was ordered to come to Albuquerque. I'm here now. I got the call Friday night. I had to get a lawyer. Saturday, I got in a car. I drove 2,000 miles to Albuquerque. I'm going to confront these lies. They're horrible. They're all lies. And I did not do anything to those little boys. And I'm going to fight it. I'm going to fight it with a great team. And I'm going to be exonerated. I know I am, because this is all so wrong and all lies. So hang in there, and hopefully I'm out real soon, and back to work. And I love everybody for supporting me. Thank you.
okay. Sorry, this will play on repeat if I
Hi, everybody.
it. Okay. So just really quickly, he thanked everyone for their support. Hey, Princess, I'm so happy. I want you guys to chat. Can you please chat and interact here, because I feel like that helps me keep things moving at a solid pace. So thank you for chatting. All right, let's unpack this really quick. So yeah, he thanked everybody for their support. I haven't seen anyone support him publicly besides his wife, allegedly. So per People magazine, they had reached out to her reps, and the reps, Melissa Gilbert's rep, said she stands by Timothy, but she has been advised by his attorneys not to speak. Fine. Okay. So right now, she's the only one that I've seen publicly standing by him. I haven't seen one celebrity. I haven't seen, one fellow actor, director. I haven't seen anyone come to his defense and say, oh, no, he's a great guy. And I mean, maybe I missed something. If you guys have, let me know. And I also will say that he is innocent until proven guilty. But yeah, so one thing, that was the first thing. Yeah, he was thanking everybody for his support. And I was like, oh, maybe he has support that I am unaware of. Number two, I found it weird that he told us, the viewers, to hang in there. He's like, so hang in there. I'm like, okay, I'm hanging. What about you? And yeah, granted, he probably did this video on the fly, right? And sometimes you just say things. I, of all people, should know because I talk on the fly a lot. But I thought that was strange. I was like, okay, well, yeah, we'll hang in. And then the whole thing that he was like, well, I found out on Friday and I had to get a lawyer, and then I had to drive 2,000 miles all the way to New Mexico. You had to drive? Okay, there's no such thing as a phone. You know, once you got your attorney couldn't call the New Mexico police saying, "Hey, maybe you can have the U.S. Marshal Service stand down." Something doesn't really make sense there for me anyway, especially with new reports saying that the U.S. Marshal Service actually went and pretty much busted into his upstate New York home. So he has an apartment in New York City on the Upper West Side on West 74th Street. He also has a place in the Catskills, which is like 4 or 5 hours away from the city. He has a place in Michigan and I believe in Los Angeles. So driving 2,000 miles to New Mexico, I was thinking, okay, he probably came from either Michigan or Los Angeles, but don't know why you wouldn't take a flight. No idea. Or why you wouldn't have your attorneys call and say, no, please stand down. He's coming. So this is the new headline actually from TMZ. The feds busted inside the actor's home. And it's kind of annoying because it's like the Daily Mail was the first to report they were searching his upstate home, his Upper West Side apartment. And I was like, dude, I was reporting that. I literally announced that I had a photographer friend as a source that was sitting out there waiting. And yeah, whatever. Let me see. He looks stressed and like he filmed that video himself. Yeah, totally. I agree. And I also want to point something else out. I mean, he knew he was turning himself in. You know, we'll scroll down because they have his mugshot here. Let me see. Look at his mugshot. I mean, you would have thought, you know, he's an actor, right? He's used to storytelling. He's a director. I mean, bro, comb your hair a little bit. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, his obviously his eye bags are way more relevant than they normally are. They're huge right here. I'm sure he hasn't slept if he's driving, you know, all that way, 2,000 miles to New Mexico. But yeah, I found this to be interesting. He knew this photo would be plastered everywhere. I just would have thought he would have, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, just do a little better maybe. But let's go to his docket. Actually, I'll just explain to you what I am seeing and what I this morning had written my report on. I will share this tab. Not really a report, but a story that I filed earlier. So I opened up the docket this morning. I was trying to search for just information on him and possibly getting a lawyer. Let me go a little bit closer. Possibly getting a lawyer. And per the docket, he does have a lawyer that he entered. So the lawyer's name is Christopher Andrew Dodd, or Alan Dodd. I'm sorry, Alan Dodd. And he's a New Mexico-based criminal defense attorney. He represented I'll go down, the UFC fighter named John Jones. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but he represented John Jones. It was a high-profile misdemeanor case from a hit and run that apparently never happened because this attorney was able to get all of the charges dismissed against John Jones, or he got the prosecutors to drop the charges. And, you know, they said that this woman set him up so she wouldn't get tapped for a drunk driving charge or something. But again, John Jones was, you know, totally vindicated. That's clearly what Dodd said. He was fully vindicated from these charges. So this guy is a high profile defense attorney in New Mexico. And I think in my opinion, that is definitely what Timothy Busfield needs in a case like this, because, you know, you won, but it's helpful in a state case, I feel like if you have an attorney that might be familiar with the courts, might be familiar with the judges, with the people in the courts, with how things work, as opposed to getting a high profile defense attorney that has no experience within those state courts at all. Now, that's not to say that that doesn't happen, right? Like we've got Karen Reed, who hired Alan Jackson from LA for a Boston court, but she also had David Yannetti, or I should say Dedham specifically. So David Yannetti, he was the local guy. He knew all the ins and outs of, the Norfolk County court system. He knew the judges. Alan did not. And I think we all saw that Judge Cannoni wasn't a huge fan of Alan Jackson, but he still did an incredible job. But I think you just really need those, those local guys to show you the ropes. So with that being said, Dodd would seemingly know the ropes of the Bernalillo County court systems and New Mexico. So I think that was probably a good choice for him. I'm going to keep refreshing my email because I emailed and I called Dodd super early this morning to try to get a statement and also to figure out when Timothy Busfield's first court appearance would be, because I feel like it should be today. If anything, I mean, he surrendered yesterday. He was booked at 2:08 p.m. So they've, got to squeeze him in with the judge. And I'm sure he's got his lawyers working overtime to get this scheduled, because the docket says, I don't know if you can see it, but it basically says that he is to be remanded right here. Remanding defendant pending first appearance. So probably today. I also set up this. I'll share this tab. This is the Vine link. I'm obsessed with this whenever somebody gets booked. If you go to, what is this website? If you're not familiar, vinelink.com, you can search by state and you can pretty much, you don't even have to make a login or anything, but you can get alerts to see when the person is released. And, I think that this is a really good tool for someone, if you were in a domestic violence altercation or something like that, and let's say you get your boyfriend or your husband or your wife, girlfriend, you get them arrested, they're being detained, you can get an alert to see when they are released. So I have signed up for the text alerts to see when Timothy Busfield is released. So hopefully I'll either get that or I'll hear back from his attorney. Either way, I don't want to say I'm confused, but I would think that he's being arraigned today, and I'm not certain. Let me double check on this about how the New Mexico court systems work, if they have to actually kick this over to a grand jury for an indictment. Let me just see. Do you have to send arrest? I should have done this before. Sorry, guys, but I just want to be sure. Okay. All right. So it says not necessarily. New Mexico does allow two separate paths to a case. So this is what I'm thinking for. It wouldn't be, it would be an arraignment / bond hearing, sure, where he would enter a plea, guilty or not guilty. And then the prosecutors would say if they are seeking to detain him until his trial, which I would say no, but like this is also a 3rd-degree felony. Oh, hey, Stay, my girl, Stay. So I think that, again, I'm not certain, but yes, that's generally what happens at an arraignment. So if the prosecutors say, oh no, we set the bail at XYZ, and they usually set the bond based on what the person could potentially pay, I guess, because in a lot of the cases in New York, like the NBA mafia gambling case, I mean, you've got Damon Jones, who's kind of a washed up player, like he coached, I guess, for the Lakers unofficially. That guy put up, I think it was $200,000 or something like that. He put up his parents' house, okay, for his bond. And then you had Chauncey Billups, the Trailblazers coach who had to put up $5 million. So it's like, it's crazy. So I am assuming that yes, it would be something like that, but I'm not positive. So just going back, so in New Mexico allows 2 separate paths to bring felony charges. Prosecutors can choose to present the case to a grand jury, and the grand jury will either indict the defendant or decline, or there's just a preliminary hearing, which is actually the most common. So that's what could be happening today as well. It could just be the prosecutor who has already filed this criminal complaint that I've previously gone over. I can touch upon it as well. And then the judge will have to hold that prelim hearing to determine the probable cause. And then if probable cause is found, the case will move forward without a grand jury. So that could be what's happening. And then that will roll all into determining if he can be released or not. So for Timothy Busfield, in cases like Timothy Busfield, I am showing that it's very normal for these charges to proceed without a grand jury. And this is, I had a tool sort of pull similar cases, and it's saying, yes, in cases like Timothy Busfield, totally normal to just be filed without a grand jury, just going directly to the preliminary hearing. And that's also something that's very standard for cases in Bernalillo County. So that's kind of interesting. Let me see. It says the wife should be charged. You know, she knew her husband was a weirdo. You can't be that dumb. Yeah, I'm super perplexed over Melissa Gilbert in general, only because I don't know if you guys are aware, but she kind of was bashing Megyn Kelly for Megyn Kelly's I think the thing is, these comments made by Megyn Kelly were actually made months ago, but then they resurfaced. I mean, I'm talking like months and months ago. Like, I feel like it was like 8 months ago, but they resurfaced about 2 months ago, and people were dragging Megyn Kelly for saying something like, well, Jeffrey Epstein liked 15-year-olds, not 5-year-olds. There's a big difference, type of thing. And, obviously it's pretty disturbing. A minor is a minor. But Melissa Gilbert put something out there and she's like, Megyn Kelly, you need to watch your words. And then after this happened, I'm not laughing, but Megyn Kelly was like, oh yeah, I need to watch my words. Okay, so shame on you. You knew what your husband was. I mean, but what's crazy is in the probable cause affidavit, Melissa Gilbert admits that her and Busfield, or she and Timothy Busfield, were hanging out with these boys offset, these little boys and their family members. And she even said they bought them Christmas presents. I think that's a little strange to be hanging out with kids off the set of your show, even if it is with their family. I mean, I just find that to be so highly inappropriate. And also, it does seemingly tie to grooming, trying to make the kids feel safe by hanging out with their parents, buying them gifts. I think that's weird. Does it mean that Timothy Busfield is guilty 100% of these charges? I mean, no, of course not. But this to me adds to the evidence. So yeah, and I agree. The parents allegedly were present, but it's really strange. Now, Timothy Busfield does seem to have a defense, though. Totally has a defense, especially because there is an actress on the set who alleges that she heard the mother of these boys say something along the lines of that she would get her revenge on Timothy Busfield because her kid's contract wasn't re-upped for the next season. They were replaced. So this actress claims to have heard this. And when she initially was contacted by detectives, she said, oh yeah, I'll meet with you and we can discuss this. But then when it was time, the day of the meeting or something like that, she was like, oh, sorry, just kidding. I don't want to meet with you after all. Well, let's just say that's fine for now, but she's definitely going to be called by the defense as a witness, hands down. Princess, my dad, who's a teacher, said the kids shouldn't even be on set without their parents. If it's offset, everyone should be there too. Yeah. So in my article from yesterday, I spoke to a veteran Hollywood director who actually said to me, he didn't want to be named. But I think you guys would like the show that he directed, by the way, all whatever 6 or 7 seasons of it. Maybe someday he'll want to be named for something else. But anyway, he said it's really difficult to be alone with the child on set. Like one would actually have to try. That's how difficult it is. So he said, on his set, they had a tutor present at all times, but especially if the parent wasn't present. So I think, I think it's super important to know the laws of these sets. However, if you read the criminal complaint, I think that Warner Brothers launched this initial investigation and was so, I don't want to say agreeable, but they were easy to work with. They worked very well with the investigators, and they launched their own investigation because there's a lot of info there that says, the teacher that was on set wasn't super present. They said that she was kind of hanging out in some other room and she left the kids alone, and she was also very old. So that's a bad look. And some of the makeup artists and other people on the set said that when they were sort of changing from scene to scene and it was just a hustle and bustle on set and everybody was rushing, that would be the time that Busfield would be able to be in like this bedroom, I guess, this set bedroom with the boys. And it was very brief. And it was one boy more than the other boy, allegedly. So the teacher also went into detail, though, the teacher that didn't really pay attention on the criminal complaint. She went into detail saying that this one boy that was sort of the focus of Busfield, allegedly, that he really changed. He came into the show being super happy-go-lucky, positive, and then sort of by the end of the season, he was withdrawn, he was depressed, and it was just awful. You know what? I want to contact, where is he? A child actor that I know, to see if he wants to join me for a minute on set. You guys might know him. His name is Michael Bauer. He played Donkey Lips on Salute Your Shorts. He's great. I'm going to text him right now because he actually has some great stories, and it's not necessarily about Salute Your Shorts, but it was about, his name was Brian Peck. Do you guys remember the Dark Side of Kids TV? Oh my gosh. Hold on. I'm doing a live stream. Let me see. He's probably like, what the hell? I always do this. I'm so last minute. I'm going to see. He's West Coast, so he should want to pop on and say hi, talking about TV sets and kids. Would love your insights. Yeah, so he's awesome. I should also reach out. I should reach out to Sean Weiss as well. He was part of the Mighty Ducks franchise. He was Goldberg. I actually wanted to reach out to him about the that child actor that surfaced the other week that was like eaten out of the garbage and he had all these drug issues. What's his name? Tyler. I'm blanking on his name, but only because Sean Weiss kind of went through all of that himself. And he actually was helping try to get this guy, Tyler, into a rehab facility. Hold on. I'm just going to send Michael this right here. I actually randomly, that's it. Yes. From Ned's Declassified. What is it? If Greenland named itself Epstein Island, Trump wouldn't talk about it anymore. Okay. I don't know where that came from, but maybe we can go into Epstein a little bit later. No problem. But yeah, let me see what Michael says. Also, I have so many random child actor contacts. I really do. I should honestly, I should have brought them on here. You know what? Let me just start texting them right now. Did you guys ever watch Heavyweights as a kid? Actually, Sean Weiss was also in Heavyweights, but the guy, Aaron Schwartz, he played Gerald Garner. I should give him a shout. Yeah, he's great. From The Sandlot. Can text him maybe. Actually, yeah, I do a lot of crime and a lot of criminal cases. He had a horrible tragedy happen to him. His mother was red rummed by her boyfriend, and basically yeah had to go be a witness at his mom's red rum trial. So that's totally crazy. I mean, his name is Marty, but where is he? All right, let's see if Michael gets back to me for now. So let's go back to, let me just go back to Busfield's. I know it's so sad. Let me go back to Busfield. I'm going to check the docket one more time to make sure that I haven't missed anything so far. Okay. I'm refreshing it. Oh, I hate when this happens. I got timed out. Let's refresh it one more time. Okay, Busfield, Timothy. I really do wonder why he drove. It is weird because let me see. Nope. Nothing yet. It is weird because if you get pulled over, you'd automatically get arrested, and I feel like that would be that would actually be worse. Do you think he was taking the time to, I don't want to say get rid of evidence, because I don't necessarily know what evidence would be. And also nobody's, or allegedly was supposed to be raiding his home at that point. So I do wonder about that, like why he took so long. But yeah, so okay. Does anyone, let me see, does anyone probably wanted to make himself look more haggard? Yeah, no, it totally could be that. It absolutely could be that. Oh, they also pushed back an episode of Law and Order he was supposed to star in this Thursday. So the episode was called, actually, I wonder what it was about. What if it was about, it was called Corrosive. Episode details, Law and Order. I don't know if we know what it was about, but oh, here's the oh, Timothy Busfield played the judge in this. I'm showing it because I was like, what if he played like a predator and they were like, we have to, yeah. No, they're pushing the episode back or shelving it. We don't actually know yet. He just played a judge. I don't know if the judge has like a real big part in this. Let's see if there's any sort of summary. It doesn't look like it. Interesting. Yeah, no. Has he been the judge in Law and Order before? I have no idea. I told this story the other day on a live if you were with me, but I actually, when I was a waitress and a hostess at a Manhattan restaurant bar, I think it was like, this was probably 2004 or 5. He came to the restaurant and he lives on West 71st or West 74th Street. This was on East 79th Street. So he was doing something on the Upper East Side. And I waited on him and I went up to him and I'm like, oh, this guy looks so familiar. And I was so stupid. I was such a dumb ass, like, I don't even know, like 19-year-old, who knows? But I was like, were you the guy in Rookie of the Year? And he's like, he was so nice, like super nice. And clearly I was too old for him. No, I'm just kidding. That's a bad thing to say. And he's like, no, it was actually called Little Big League. And I was like, got it. But I just remember him being super nice about it and not a dick. But actually, maybe I wasn't. I think I was like 18 or 19 years old. I was a freshman in college. So yeah, maybe it was 2003. So maybe I was kind of at the sweet spot for him. That's kind of gross, right? Sorry. Because there was another allegation that he touched a 17-year-old on the set of Little Big League. She was an extra or something. I know, right? Thank you. That's literally how I sounded those days. I literally was like, excuse me. I'm like so stupid. I think that, yeah, no, I'm just kidding. Trust me, you did not want to know me when I was 19 years old. But again, point was he was pretty kind about it. All right. I have not heard from Michael Bauer just yet. So also Michael Bauer, if you guys follow him, Donkey Lips, he does have, and I'm not disclosing anything that he would not want you to hear, but he does have anxiety. Like he has diagnosed anxiety, and sometimes it's tough for him just to pop on. Like, some people can just go with the flow and be like, oh yeah, sure, let me jump on really quick. He's not really like that. He's just not. And that's not a dig. Like I said, he'll tell you that himself, that he struggles like this. So I'm just hoping that I don't make him anxious just by looking at this text, basically. But I also think that you guys would really benefit from hearing what he had to say about his experience on certain sets. And I can share with you just sort of like, let's go back to this mugshot here. Actually, no, we're LA Magazine. Let's pull up LA Magazine, shall we? So he did discuss basically that at one point when he was cast in a movie that this guy Brian Peck was directing, and Brian Peck was he was the guy, pretty much not Dan Schneider, but at the focus of this Dark Side of Kids TV doc. And Brian Peck, there were allegations of SA against the guy. What's the kid's name from Drake and Josh? Do you guys remember? You know what I'm talking about. And I'm sorry, the anxiety, it really sucks. I am really sorry. But yeah, what the hell was the guy's name? But yeah, this guy actually had previously gone to prison for touching a little kid. He was somehow rehired back on a Nickelodeon set. And so Michael Bauer had experience in working with him previously, and he was cast in a movie. And so basically his parents, I think they were divorced at the time, and like his mom was working, and his dad's like, I don't know if I can bring you, to this movie set and fly with you there. And Brian Peck's like, no problem. Like he can stay in my room. And Michael Bauer's dad's like, I don't really know about that. So he basically thank you so much, Drake Bell. That's who Brian Peck was accused and I believe convicted of assaulting Drake Bell. But yeah, so Bauer's dad was like, you know what, this doesn't feel right. I think that I'm going to do what I can to be able to go to this movie set, be with my kid, whatever. And so he did. Bauer tells me that, he gets to the airport and Brian Peck thinks that he's going to be dropped off and alone, and he's going to travel with him. And he literally said that when Peck saw his father, he was like visibly disappointed. And he was like, ew. Yeah. And he says a lot more. He also talks about this one scene in the movie where he had like bugs all over him. And Brian Peck wanted him to take off his pajamas to basically like see the way he describes it. It was just so highly inappropriate, even for the 90s. Like it's, yeah, so gross. I'm glad to hear that he's doing better, because I just can't even imagine. And the fact that we are still hearing about television sets, film sets, to this day, 2026, where kids are alone with people, I can't believe that. It's like we're at a point now where I feel like that should not be a thing. We should all know better. I mean, come on. All right, let's pivot for a second to Reiner, Nick Reiner. I want to pull up. Let me pull up a video clip for you guys from the other day. Okay. Okay, we'll do a couple clips that I want to play. So Billy Bush had Alan Jackson on his podcast Hot Mics the other day. I don't know if you guys saw it, but ever since Alan Jackson was or withdrew himself from the Nick Reiner case, people have been speculating about why that could be, why that is. And at this point, and also based on certain words that he said in this interview, I do think that it's just money at this point, because Alan Jackson really goes hard talking about the public defender and saying he has full support, or he fully supports the public defender's office. He has full confidence in them, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, fine. If it wasn't money, why didn't he just retain another lawyer, right? Why didn't he retain someone else? If there was possibly a conflict of interest or something like that between he and Alan Jackson, or his family and Alan Jackson, why wouldn't he just hire someone else if it wasn't money? The way he was talking before, and that's on a different clip, I believe, it just seems like, yeah, the public defender's office is here to stay, right? So if Nick Reiner does end up retaining officially another lawyer, then I will take it back and I will say, okay, it wasn't money because he has the means to hire someone else, right? I mean, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but it just seems like that would be the case. Also, I was with an attorney last week, a pretty high profile New York attorney who has some contacts in LA. And this was literally last Wednesday when a week ago, when Alan Jackson officially withdrew, and he got a text from one of his guys in LA, and they were like, it's definitely money. A source close to Alan, is saying it's money. And at that point, I still was like, no, I don't buy it. Because I just feel like there are ways to get around the whole money thing. But Alan Jackson also got his press conferences out of this. He got, more media appearances. So maybe, that did the trick for him. But anyway, I'll shut up for a second and I'll just play this.
And the district attorney in this case is Nathan Hochman, who, right?
Yes. He's the DA. He's not the deputy DA that's handling the case.
So he's the DA, but he's the ultimate voice on the other side,
Correct.
right? He said,
Correct.
I'm very confident that there will be a full, conviction, and this guy will be found guilty. We know where he stands.
He
but of course,
welcome to his confidence.
He defeated George Gascon. His predecessor was known as soft on crime.
Right.
So he kind of ran on I'll be the opposite of George.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be, which is for you, it's going to be like, okay, he's got to prove himself on every front, but he's a serious guy. We have respect for Nathan.
Sure.
But he's sort of laid out that he is confident there will be a full conviction. So Kimberly Green is the public defender who's now running the case.
Right.
But either if it's you or her, you're still up against the DA who wants a conviction.
So I would presume ethically that every DA who brings a case wants a conviction.
Right.
They better.
Right.
They better think that they have the evidence to prove beyond a reasonable doubt to 12 independent thinkers that so-and-so is guilty of such and such. They better. Otherwise, it's unethical. It's an unethical prosecution from the beginning. So he and Nathan and his deputies can believe what they want. I don't fault them for that.
Okay.
I believe that at the end of the day, that's why we have trials. That's why we have trials.
Okay. Let me go to the other clip. I mean, that was interesting. And it's also like, yeah, it's so true, where it's like, why are we all surprised that Nathan Hochman is like, yeah, like I believe we're getting conviction. Obviously, he has to say that. I mean, that's his job. It's like what Alan said. It's like he wouldn't bring a case forth. It would be unethical if he didn't believe that he could secure a conviction. Here's another one.
Do you feel like you're not on the case, but do you feel like you would have won it?
Oh, I don't think I saw this one.
I'll reflect back on what I said at the press conference after a thorough review.
You had 3 weeks of intense work
Correct.
with your team. So you did at least the legwork. You were the filings, subpoenas, right? You've got all this important background work.
Yep.
Because that's the guy. That's the energy I saw on the staircase.
Right.
Outside of court. I saw a guy
that's
who
what we
was
do.
pissed off because I got this. I know you.
Right.
I can feel like that. I got this.
Right.
Well,
I'll just reflect back
What?
to my statements
Awkward.
and the attitude that you saw. Every one of my team members, our shoulders were back, our chins were up. Every one of my team members and I feel exactly the same way. So, yeah.
I remember what you said. This is where it stands. But, look, it's like It's only been a month since the horrific
Did you hear his thigh,
death of Rob
Jackson?
and Michelle. Things happen very quickly.
Right.
You're on the job like right away. You throw yourself into it. You know, imagine the emotion for the family, like what they're going through, the brother, the sister.
Devastating.
They don't know they've lost their parents, yet they love their brother. They don't know that's chaotic. I can't imagine that it's settled down. It's only been a month, and it was just so deeply emotional.
Okay.
And
I don't want
you
to.
said that's where it stands now. I mean, who knows?
Okay, this is the one I wanted you guys to hear. Okay, pay close attention to his body language, to the way he speaks about this, to the way he kind of calls out Billy Bush, because he doesn't want, misinformation, or I guess information to be twisted. But I found this to be helpful in just clarifying why I do believe it is money this time. This just really seemed to help me out.
So the big question everybody's wanting to know the answer to is, why did you step away?
That's a confidential communication between a lot of folks that I'm not willing to disclose.
Yeah,
But you just used the verb commissioned. So you were hired to do the job. And I look, I know you well enough to know when you're pissed off, and I'm looking at your body language there. You're emphatic in your support of Nick and that he's not guilty in this situation. But I also see that you're not happy. So what?
Well, it was
something happened.
Obviously,
with the retainer.
And I said,
something.
Well, no.
Is it a money thing?
You can't say that. You can't say that, Billy. You can't say that something happened with the retainer, because I've never said that. So I don't want you to put that.
No, I mean, not like the actual retainer number, but the retention of you.
Right. So obviously something happened with my ability and my team's ability to continue the representation. But I don't want you, your audience, anybody else to start speculating as to what that might be. I have not said a word about it.
They speculate. That's all.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's what the
Greek chorus is ablaze.
Yeah, I get it, but by the same token, I'm saying that it does not matter at this point. I said what I said at the press conference because it's true, and I believe it in my heart. And I also said that my team and I remain and will remain completely committed to the best interests of Nick Reiner. And that's also true, and that's not going to change. But I'm not going to get into the specifics of why it was necessary for me to.
I want you to hear the whole thing, but
is there any chance that you could rejoin the case, or is the ship 100% sailed?
The withdrawal is in the books. The court has relieved me of his counsel, and that's where it stands moving forward.
Okay, that was a non-answer. That was basically like the court withdrew me, right? Because you requested the withdrawal. Okay, so the fact that he is saying that he remains committed, he remains confident in the public defender's office. That also tells me that he's there for the public defender's office should they need him. He kind of helped pass everything off. They were in the judge's chambers before. Like, he knew that this was happening. And again, if the Reiners were going to retain another lawyer for Nick, I do feel like possibly that would have come out, or they would have been working on that previously, knowing that Alan Jackson's fees, or what Dizzy said. This is a really good point. The experts. Dizzy pointed out that possibly Alan Jackson was looking at, and Dizzy, you didn't say this, I'm just kind of explaining it this way, looking at a list of experts and saying, we need this guy, we need that guy. This guy costs XYZ. I mean, dude, I don't know if you guys watched the Cardi B civil trial, but the plastic surgeon that I think the accuser had like one appointment with, she had him testify in court on her behalf. And that dude charged like $2,000 an hour. Like, because he basically is like, oh yeah, if I'm in court, I'm missing XYZ, whatever, $2,000 an hour. That's wild. He was on the stand for like half the day. So Oh, you watched the whole, okay. Right. That's interesting. And it totally could be the case. And obviously public defenders, they won't use most likely the same caliber of experts, right? But we don't know that. So that's another great point. But I feel like the Reiner family also, they may have seen his legal bills, which I'm assuming would be upwards of $15 million or so when all is said and done, experts, whatever. And they were just like, well, maybe, he's gonna be in a padded room or behind bars. So maybe we'll just, forfeit this attorney and use a public defender's office if we are hearing from people that this office is decent, and this office has tried cases like this in the past. So that's sort of where I'm standing with it right now. But again, something could come out where he is retaining another lawyer. I don't know. And I texted Garagos this morning to see if I could call him, but I think he's very busy with the case right now. So I didn't hear back from him, but if I do, I will call him immediately and ask for an update or his take on everything. Yeah, so that's the other thing. If you watched the TMZ documentary about Nick Reiner, something super interesting that Harvey points out is the fact, and also, I think this was one of the more recent episodes of Two Angry Men. Mark had said, I just don't think that Nick is mentally competent to stand trial. And Harvey, this is weeks ago, he just was like, no, he's going to enter the not guilty by insanity plea. Well, you can't even enter that plea if you are obviously found to be just incompetent, because you have to be able to assist in your own defense as a defendant. And if you cannot, then you cannot stand trial. So there is a very good chance here that Nick can't even assist in his own defense. And what the doc said, and they obviously, nothing is completely, the ink is not dry on all of this, because they are going off of sources close to the family, but they are saying that Nick is aware of what he did. However, he doesn't understand why he's locked up. He thinks it's some big conspiracy against him. So it's it's crazy. It's literally crazy. So who knows? I mean, I do believe that I was not in court, but some of the reports said, Nick appeared to be smirking while he was in court, which is not great. I have not been in court where, actually I was in court once for the God's Misfits case out of Kansas and Oklahoma. Some of those defendants were smirking, but I haven't been in a courtroom where like a homicidal person allegedly has been smirking, but I can imagine that it's very, very scary. Oh my goodness. But yeah, no, when I was in Oklahoma and Kansas, this was December 2024, it was a double homicide case of these two moms. Dizzy's familiar with it. It's one of the most horrible cases. And actually, the lead defendant, who was sort of the alleged ringleader of all of this, the one girl's mother-in-law, for all intents and purposes, she's actually going to be sentenced at the end of this month. She took a plea deal to not get the death penalty. That's how savage and brutal these killings were. But I remember I was sitting there in court. She walked in. She was smirking. It was terrifying. And then her boyfriend at the time, who helped and carried out some of these stabbings to one of the women, he came in, and I just will never forget, his eyes were black. They were just so black, and I had nightmares. Totally. Total nightmares. It was horrible. So yeah, I can imagine that seeing Nick would have just been very chilling. And also some of the photos, like the sketch artist photos of him, they show him looking really, really sickly almost. Like he's like hunched over, and he just appears to be like super gaunt. It's just, it definitely was a bit scary. So that is what we know thus far on Nick Reiner. His third continued arraignment will be held in February. So yeah, Jacqueline, it was really scary. So I was sent a video that I was kind of scared to open. I couldn't really open it on my phone, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait. I like to do things live, I guess. Like I like to make, obviously, if you guys are here for a lot of these live streams, I like to make phone calls live. I like to dig into things live. But I was sent a video from a source, somebody, a never before seen video, they said, about that David is in. David, well, let me just take Alan Jackson down. David is the singer who a 14-year-old girl, Celeste D4vd, her body was found in the front of his Tesla in September, and he has not been charged. He has not been seen. He has not been heard from since the discovery of her body. He canceled his tours. He postponed his release album, or his Wither Deluxe album. You know what? Let me just make a banner. Case update. Okay, so he also transferred his Houston, Texas homes to his mother's name. He did all of this pretty much within the same month that Celeste was found. Oh, and he also moved out of his Hollywood Hills home that he was renting for, I think it was around maybe 20 or 30 grand a month. But somebody sent me a video, and again, I could not open it on my phone. They said it was a never before seen video of David, and I was going to try to open it on this live stream to see if I could download it. So he pulled it, or he basically says it shows David and Rob, which I'm assuming is Robert Morgenthroth, or his manager at what is the company? I'm Interscope. So it's them at a school, he says. A school. So now I saw it and I was like, I'm very interested in this. I don't usually like this is something that I wouldn't necessarily put in an article. I wouldn't file it. Thank you, Morgan Roth. I have such a hard time with that. I wouldn't necessarily put this in an article per se, but I am very curious about it. I am very, very curious. So let's try to download it, shall we? It's compressed. It is, okay. Okay. Oh, I got it. All right. Let's see what this is. I don't know. I wonder if I can, it's somebody's screen recording. Let me see if I can video file. Here we go. Okay, hold on. I downloaded it, but I think I have to save it to a place that's like, or at least, all right, share. So bad, Dizzy, I need you to help me. I really need you. Sorry. I'm like, Dizzy. Okay, here we go. I can save it on my desktop. All right. No, I know this, and listen, this could be nothing. Like, I don't know, but I will always, if you guys ever want to send tips, you ever want to send videos, please. Oh my gosh. And thank you for saying you love my ring. Can I just tell you something about this ring, which looks like a very big diamond, and it is, but it's not what you think. It's lab grown. I got married like 14 years ago. And my husband, I bought myself this lab grown diamond. I shouldn't even be saying this. This is horrible. Sorry, I'm going to get to the video. Sorry. I'll tell you after. But anyway, point is, I wanted just like a nice, big, shiny ring. I don't know, like, just let me have something, let me freaking have something. And so lab grown diamonds are significantly cheaper. I took this to a jeweler and he's like, looks good to me, the clarity, the cut, whatever. So, yeah. But let me pull up. Let's see. Yeah, no filter. I know. I'm like, my husband's like, really? You bought yourself a ring? That's really offensive. I'm like, I'm sorry. Okay. Let's do the video file. All right, here we go. Guys, I have no idea what to expect. Hold on. I'm going to try to, sorry. This was sent to me from a source. I know, sorry, Dizzy. I probably put him in timeout. I don't even know. I've never seen so many like weirdos jump on here that I've never seen before. So yeah, so crazy. Okay. Let me just, I can't even zoom. Oh, wait, can I zoom on this? Maximize. Oh, now I'm gone. All right, let's just play it. He said it's David and Rob, which again, I'm assuming is Robert Morgan Roth at a school. Let's play it.
About free center tickets to a high school. Kids are super smart. Apparently, the past 5 schools been like these artsy schools that got like super cool electives and whatnot. That's my fans, I guess.
They better fight. Get the
I will love
type EPM.
me and that. Know what I'm saying? Make sure you me on the ground, one little whale.
Y'all better hurry up.
Right,
If they start fighting, the police gonna start macing.
What is this?
I will run into the street right now.
Hi, we love you. In the back of my mind, you died, and I didn't even cry. Not a single tear.
Guys,
Save your tears, it'll be okay. And I know that you're here with me.
You pointed to him.
Go, that's you.
It's not even worth it. Like, I know what you're talking about.
That's you.
Oh my God.
You guys I don't know what this is. I'm so confused.
Y'all already know what the vibes are, so basically it's a scavenger hunt for 2 free center tickets
Rob?
tonight.
Morgan Rob?
You get 2 tickets if you find them. Oh,
Yo, thank you.
y'all like scissors music?
Yeah,
I don't want to give these to no non-fans. Imagine you got a hate Twitter page or something.
Yeah, I was like the one that like started, I guess, like the whole thing. Me and my
word?
friends.
Hold on, Dizzy, can I make this bigger? I just feel like I wish I could sort of crop this or something. I don't know if I can though on here the way he sent it to me. It says David at David Gaming. That's the @ and it says 2 years ago, and obviously the is that Rob? It like the way I'm frozen on him. Oh, you just sent me a link. Okay, thank you. Did you send that to me on WhatsApp, Dizzy? Thank you. Okay, got it. Let's play it there, and then I can sort of speed it up a little bit. Okay. Oh, so this is David's, yeah, so weird. All right, let's put it on 1.5 for now. Let's remove this. Thanks for being patient. And Dizzy, thank you. Rob is in the green long sleeves. Okay, got it. Let me just remove. Okay. David almost gets maced in Baltimore. I'll make it. There we go.
Give out free center tickets to a high school. Kids are super smart. Apparently, the past 5 schools been like these artsy schools that got like super cool electives and whatnot. That's my fans, I guess.
School held a contest. Okay. Have you guys seen this before? Anyone?
Me and that. Know what I'm saying? Make sure you on the ground, one little whale.
Y'all better hurry up. If they start fighting, the police gonna start macing. I will run into the street right now.
Okay.
Hi, we love you. In the back of my mind, you died, and I didn't even cry. Not a single tear.
Okay. Saw that.
Save your tears, it'll be okay. And I know that you're here with me. Go, that's you.
It's not even worth it. Like, I know what you're talking about. Oh my God.
Okay, so this person,
Y'all
thing is, like,
so basically it's a scavenger hunt for 2 free center tickets tonight.
really
Get
quick,
2 tickets if you
this is a 9-minute video. I'm basically playing it on double time, but he said that the second half he said the videographer is basically says the videographer is being ops. That's what he says to me, this, or whoever this person is that sent it to me. So I haven't yeah, I've never seen this before. I mean, I am surprised that I haven't. But again, it looks like he's going to a school in Baltimore. They're doing a contest to give away SZA tickets, right? Is that, I've got that. You guys were on the same page here. All right. I'll play this. I'll continue to play. I'll play the whole thing, but again, it's on 1.5. If it's too fast for you guys or he starts to say something, I will slow it down. But now I'm curious, and we should just play it all the way through.
Find them. Oh,
Yo, thank you.
y'all like SZA music?
Yeah,
I want to get these no things. Imagine that I hate swear things.
I was like the one that like started, I guess, like the whole thing. Me and my friend, but my friend is like not at the moment. Yeah, they're inside.
I was about to say sorry for your loss.
They're not dead. They're not dead. They probably want me, but like, I don't think.
Okay. Thank you.
No, she is. She made the music.
Stop. I brought you the marker.
You did
No,
it.
not the invisible ink.
I like indie alternative R&B, like a little bit of everything.
Here's your photos from the other night. Yo, did you guys get the text?
Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah, there's one.
Not him, bro.
I try every day, but I still haven't achieved himness. It's not.
Okay, so this is the stuff I don't necessarily care about, but
No, bro, no.
I don't know.
I don't know dollar. Leave me alone, bro. Leave me alone.
No, I said, shout out to Rick.
How's the new mic?
Your mic is cool, but the mic is very cool.
Wait, are his teeth always like that? Jesus. Oh, I think that's Josh Marshall. No?
You don't have Lars? Oh, I'm sorry.
Go start what?
I'm sorry.
What you gonna do?
The person I hold the camera. He's the epitome of op. Next to our sound guy, Ian.
Who's more about?
Ophthalmologist. He's commander of ops. We're about to go on stage. We're about to kill it. I'm the backup singer. I'm the hype man.
Yeah, that is Josh Marshall.
I'm doing the backflip. Go play with it. Go play with it. Go play with it. Go play with
Where's the Robert going? Your car.
Robert.
In the streets
Okay.
of Toronto, married to the streets, and I'm like, it's a real wedding band. You feel me? Like we're engaged to the streets now. Call Drake, tell him I'm one of the dogs now.
That's someone's real.
Why does he talk like that?
I leave your wedding rings in the parking lot.
Check
You know what
I'm pointing that as soon as we fall asleep.
I'm about to give out free SZA tickets to a high school. Kids are super smart. Apparently, past 5 schools been like these artsy schools that got like super cool electives and
Saw this
That's
already.
my fan base.
Merged installer high school.
I want my dog not This is Merc. I'm trying to give you a free ticket for the show tonight.
Here's something you can say.
Somebody paid it, bro.
Who about to fight?
I mean, this could be a story, by the way, depending. But like, as of right now, I'm kind of thinking video resurfaces of David hanging out at a high school. I mean, it's obviously a little bit more nuanced than that. He's not exactly lurking at a high school. He has a purpose of being there. And if this is 2 years ago, he's still an adult. He's 18. These kids, maybe some of them are 18 because they're seniors, but a majority of them are not.
The police will come.
Hours? You go 5 hours?
I walked 2 hours and then I waited 5 hours. Yes. Like the main reason I do music is really because of you.
Word?
Yeah.
What's your music on MailUp?
Oh yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
What's up?
I got SoundCloud. I got YouTube.
Maybe.
His voice is beautiful. Oh, I want one of these tickets or something. I'm do it. Me love. Oh, okay. Yeah.
What you got on? Okay?
Yeah, shut that shit off. Shut that shit off.
City Aqualand, 2000 right here.
Okay.
Citizen. My bad. Essential. Slow school. Nice little UA.
Okay.
BBs.
All right.
BBs.
How much those? Hold on. How much those?
Chill.
It's a little school.
Yeah, I feel you. Light work.
I don't even know. UA outlet. Regular UA spot. Big
Okay.
boy city. Big boy
All
city.
right. Okay.
Wait,
Okay.
Kimberly, did you just do that?
Oh,
That's weird.
now hold on. In my car, look at my first
Go
one.
find it.
Super weird.
Okay, so here's my dilemma. So essentially, I had the wedding ring on my pinky, and I lost it in the green room, bro. I go on stage in 25 minutes. I can't find the wedding ring, bro. I kid you not. I go on stage in 25 minutes. I can't find my ring. I need my ring, bro. I need them to put them on the jumbotron. I gotta like do this. I gotta be shiny, bro.
I was thinking the same thing. Sorry to be rude. I was thinking this.
Do I love you? I hate you.
So I don't know what. All right. Feel bad. All right. This video, we basically have like 30 seconds left of this video. I guess I just don't understand what is this him opening for SZA? And also, why does it say he almost gets maced in Baltimore? Did I miss something, guys? We're watching the same video here.
I can't believe I said it, but it's true.
I don't. What? Like, I just need to go back for a second to the beginning. Why does it say that?
Smart, apparently, the past 5 schools been like these artsy schools that got like super cool electives and whatnot. That's my fan bitch.
Where is he almost getting maced? I will love it. He has to fight. Oh.
Me and that. Not that mission. You on the ground, one little way up.
Y'all better hurry up. If they start fighting, the police will come in.
Okay, there we go. So that wasn't a thing. Said if they start fighting, the police are going to start macing. Okay. Wait. So that is a super interesting. Well, okay. Okay. I want to pull up David here. If there's an image of him talking to a teenager, that would be a really great. Yeah. Is that? No, that's not him. Let's see. He's like behind. Oh, there he is. Oh, crap. Okay.
Let's get the text. Yeah, there you go.
All right. Yeah, so Robert Morgenthroth, he basically was reportedly on the stand in front of the grand jury for about 3 days, 3 days worth of testimony, which is a super long time. And he reportedly was the real day-to-day guy with David on the ground. He was the tour manager, etc. And when Josh Marshall's name was brought up and he was accused of maybe knowing certain things about Celeste and David, and it, I had a whole thing where I slid into his DMs on TikTok because of something that was told to me by Steve Fisher on a live stream, actually. And somebody repeated that information on TikTok, but it was like a game of telephone where she didn't really have all the facts correct. And Josh Marshall commented on her TikTok. And I was like, what? He's not spoken out at all. And now he's commenting on a TikTok. That's where you first speak out. I was shocked. And I just, I was like, this is weird. But the TikTok, I did some diligence. It was definitely him. I just wanted to confirm. So I slid because I was going to file a story about it. And he wrote me back immediately. And he was basically like, well, first of all, anything I say in this DM, you cannot print it. Like, I'm basically here just to tell you that, yes, that was me that commented on that girl's TikTok. And I am denying everything that anybody has said. And that's when he said, I barely have any day-to-day communications with David. He said he lives with his wife and his kids in a totally different state. However, the house is under his name, the house that is rented to David. So I think that with that, and just the fact that at the time, many people believed that he was David's only manager, everybody was kind of calling BS on that. They were like, well, I just feel like any music manager, they have a lot more communication with their client than this guy is saying. But then when we heard about Robert Morgenroth and him being on the stand, etc., I think for me, I was like, okay, that makes sense. What Josh Marshall said. But then seeing something like this, you know, Josh isn't necessarily at the school, but he is backstage at this concert, which is in Baltimore, I believe. There was another arena that they showed as well. I didn't catch that, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of interesting, I guess. I think it's just the whole thing, like nobody would really think twice about this video before Celeste. Right? Do you guys agree? I don't think it would be a thing, but now we're seeing him with minors, and for the most part, I feel like they might feel safe. They might feel okay with this because he's most likely 18. He's only a year older than him at the time, right? I mean, and let's just not trying to help the guy out at all, but you know, in high school, I mean, you know, I was 17. I think I dated a senior who was 18. Like, you're not really being called a pedo for that stuff, in my opinion. So I don't know. Is this a story? It could be. I got to watch the video, I think, or I got to throw it into an app to transcribe it, get everything that they're saying, and then I can decide if this is worthy and if I can scope out anything else from this video. I'm curious. Also, I'll just sort of reiterate something that was brought up last week that I had filed a story on, and that was basically Garagos surmising that the grand jury was hearing from different forensic experts that the DA's office had hired. And I say this because one of the reasons it's believed that the case is in front of a grand jury right now is because the LAPD and the Emmy's office, they are just at odds. And I have a feeling the Emmy's office didn't really give the LAPD and the DA's office everything they were looking for in terms of autopsy, cause of death. You know, I have a feeling it's most likely the initial ruling was probably deferred. And I did have this feeling that the police and the DA's office is like, no, that just won't do. And if it's deferred, that doesn't mean that you can't proceed with a homicide case. It just might be slightly harder, but that definitely doesn't mean you can't move forward, right? So after hearing Garagos say this, I was like, that really does make sense that they would bring in their own experts to do their own, you know, and maybe not necessarily an autopsy, because I know that Celeste's body was released to her family pretty early on, and I believe she was cremated per the death certificate. Dizzy, you might know, but there's a real possibility that before they did any of this, they did bring in an outside expert, or they kept tissue samples of Celeste and they brought in, you know, their experts that way. So maybe they didn't do a full autopsy, but they definitely did their own testing and probably came up with some of their own conclusions. And then they are presenting that to a grand jury as we speak. But we have been told also that they have more witnesses going into February. So it might be some time before there is an indictment. And even when there is an indictment, we don't know if that's necessarily going to be for a homicide. We have no idea. It could be for something else too. We don't know. So yeah, I always just like to touch upon this case because I hate the fact that it's just moving so slowly, even though I understand 100%, I understand, but it drives me crazy. It drives me so crazy that this little girl was missing, you know, and when she came home, nobody told authorities otherwise. It feels like this little girl, Celeste, was able to kind of come and go as she pleased. She stayed with a cousin, I believe, at one point. And keep in mind, guys, she's 14 years old and younger when she's doing this, when she's, you know, not at home. I know that every household is different. So I'm not trying to like sit here and I hate when we don't have all the information and we place so much blame on parents and this and that. And I'm sure that, yes, when all of the facts come out, there most likely is a lot of blame that will be placed on the parents, but or the mother, whatever. But right now, we don't know enough. But yeah, it's concerning. It's very concerning. So we will continue to follow that case, of course, and I will look at this video. I will transcribe it and see if I can get any any details. Okay, so if she was buried, yeah, I didn't really see any reports on getting her body exhumed, so to speak, right? So I don't think that they would have done that, but yeah, I think that it's very possible tissue samples, etc., testing could be done externally. And I agree with you. Everyone failed Celeste. Everyone agreed wholeheartedly. And thank you for this. Yeah, it's awful. I'm also, I shouldn't say I'm surprised, but because they're minors, but it is interesting that none of her friends have really come forward as well. I think there was like one kid that kind of dated her or had gym class with her or something like that. Or he described that was like the last time he saw her. And his mom was right there for the interview. He's pretty much the only one I've seen so far. Oh, and this is also, sorry, I just thought of this case too, the Anna Kepner case. It's crazy that no one's been charged there. Also, they're really, really trying to get that evidence together. So crazy. Yeah, I mean, again, like her mother belongs in jail too. I just don't know enough about her mom. I know what I have read online. I have not spoken to her mother personally. I just don't know all the details. So yeah. Let me see if there is anything else that I wanted to go over. Ooh, a press event for Bigfoot. Oh, there's a new musical for Bigfoot. I just got this email. Is that going to be good? A Bigfoot musical? Oh, it's off Broadway. I have not heard of this. Okay, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Why would anyone want to see a Bigfoot musical that's not 7 years old? I don't know. All right, I'll remove this. Is anybody paying attention to the Opair double homicide? I know Dizzy is, or the Brendan Banfield homicide that is tied to his affair with this Opair. That is a crazy case that I was very closely following last year, and I have been listening to the trial just as I work. Oh my gosh, that is so twisted. And if that is not a Lifetime movie, I will be very shocked, very shocked. One thing that drives me crazy, I just want to show you this. And I know they don't mean any harm by it. I know that. But let me show you. This drives me nuts. Looking for it. Sorry. You'll see what I mean in a second. Okay. I'm searching for it because I'm so ill prepared. And also I didn't want to keep this on a tab either. Dang it. Where the hell is it? Okay, I screenshotted it, so I'll just show you. But okay. Again, I know that court TV doesn't mean anything by this at all, but we're talking about someone's life, right, being ended in a horrific manner, okay? We're talking about someone being stabbed by the man that they love, that they had a child with, that they said, I do. I mean, so this is the thumbnail for court TV. This is the wife in the middle. And I remember this photo of her because it was a selfie that she took of herself on Halloween. She's dressed up on Halloween. And then you have the Opair on one side and you have Banfield on the other side, Brendan Banfield. I don't know why. It says the Opair affair murder trial. I get that. This is what we do now. I mean, but I don't know why the thumbnail drives me crazy. it just drives me crazy. I just feel like, I don't know. It's not, someone lost their life. It's not for our entertainment. It's not for our, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too sensitive. Right? Do you know what I mean? Like if that's my daughter that was killed like that, and if that's my, and I, by the way, I struggle with this all the time because hello, you know, I'm sitting here on YouTube covering these cases. I don't always do live streams. We're trying to grow the channel, of course. I'm trying to make it more news and fact based, I guess. But yeah, sometimes I do have crazy problems when I see stuff like this, and I'm just like, whoa, it's like, yeah, it does. It feels salacious. Okay, this is what I mean. Like, it feels disrespectful to the wife. Like, I just don't want, if I'm red rummed, I don't want you guys to see a photo of, I don't know, it just, with the two people that killed me, like right there. I remember there was a little girl, and she went missing in upstate New York 2 years ago. Last year, she was taken from a campground, and miraculously, like she was riding her bike around the campground by the Lake George, and miraculously, I think it was a couple days later, she was found. And her name and her picture, of course, was plastered everywhere at first. Because we were looking for her. As soon as she was found, details were not released about anything that happened, right? We were just told, and thank you so much for saying that. We were just told that she's physically okay, this little girl, right? And then you're thinking to yourself, okay, she's physically okay, but I mean, is she okay? Like, she's obviously not going to be okay. Then a year later, the guy that kidnapped her, we see that he's going to trial, and he's going to trial on, I think, 8 or 9 different counts, guys, of sexual assault against a child. 9 different counts of this. Okay. So clearly this little girl, not okay at all. And her aunt actually wrote an open letter to the press. And this was right when he was sentenced. Maybe he didn't go to trial. Maybe he was just sentenced because he pled out. I can't recall. But she basically was like, when you are covering this, like open letter to all the journalists, when you are covering this, do not use my niece's name, right? She was 9 years old when this happened. Do not detail what happened to her. She is trying to live her life as a normal child. You know, we don't need to relive what happened to her. You know, she's a minor. This is horrific, disgusting. These are disgusting charges. Don't even talk about that. And then she was like, number 3, don't put her picture next to the guy that did this to her. Just don't in all of your coverage. And, you know, I've been guilty of this as well. And unfortunately, I just did this for the Tepe homicide. You know, I did put the perp's picture underneath the couple's. You know, it wasn't a child. Obviously, it's horrific. It's tragic. This couple lost their life. Children are orphaned. But I kind of had to do it that way just for the AP style. But yeah, she made a point to say, like, how would you like it? Right? Like, how would you like it? So, you know, there's a fine line. We have a job to do as reporters, as journalists, but God, like, these are, sorry. I'm not used to comments like this. This is crazy. I'm going to kick you out because this is not really appropriate. Oh shoot. Dizzy, I just banned Princess by accident. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to get this guy. How do I undo that? Shoot. Oh my gosh, please help me. I did not mean to do this. How do I, do I have to go to my YouTube? I feel so bad because she did not deserve this. This is so bad. What the hell? Okay, let me go to my YouTube studio or something while I'm on here because I did not mean to do that. I know. Oh my gosh, does anybody know how to work YouTube where this can where you can unhide. Let me see. Settings, maybe? Yes, settings, permissions, community moderation. Is that? Oh, here we go. Let me take her out. Okay. All right, great. I did. Oh my gosh, I need to find her. Sorry. Thank you. Please, her name is, I feel so bad. I should have got her. Okay. Her name was Princess BEX. Okay. I'm so sorry. If you're seeing this, I did not mean to kick you out. I brought you back in. We're all good. We're all good. But okay, great. Oh, thank you. Okay. Sorry. I am so sorry about that. I meant to kick out the guy that said for me to show my boobs. So yeah, let's not do that. But also, if you are new here, not that guy, but make sure that you like and subscribe so you can get notifications when we go live discussing cases like this and just events and whatever. Okay, great. So that's basically what I have for Celeste and David. We went over Nick Reiner. We went over Busfield. Oh, let's check to see if his lawyer emailed me back yet. Nope, he didn't. He did not. That is too bad. I guess I could call him in a little bit. But I am thinking that this preliminary hearing now could possibly happen today or tomorrow, and then Busfield will get let loose. Perhaps we can check the Vine one more time as well. No, nothing's wrong with telling someone they look good. It wasn't you. It was someone saying something super inappropriate. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you're talking to me. Sorry. Okay, so the last thing I want to say, let me just make a different banner because I do want to talk about the I'm calling it the Opair, double homicide. So I watched opening statements yesterday after covering that case for about a year, and I was shocked. They basically, and I took some notes actually, but they basically disclosed to us that Brendan Banfield, who was such a loser, he was an IRS agent, a gun-toting IRS agent. He seemingly was very proud of this because when he called 911, he's like, I'm a federal agent. I'm a federal officer. It's like, no, bro, you're the IRS. You are literally the definition of trash. No one likes you. So he basically told the Opair, the Brazilian Opair, who's 22 years old, I believe, or something like that, maybe a little bit older. But apparently they just started sleeping together. And it wasn't a romantic relationship beyond just like sex. And they just did it maybe when Christine wasn't home or she was, working, whatever. So it started off just sex, nothing more. Then they started having feelings for each other and they started going on actual dates and they took a trip. And they took a specific trip to New York City in 2022, where Brendan Banfield says to Juliana, the au pair, that he wants to devise a plan to murk his wife. And he says he doesn't want to get divorced because he doesn't want to share custody of their child. Like that. Sorry, that's not a reason. I'm sorry. But they discussed possibly looking into murder for hire, all this stuff, whatever. And I think that for whatever reason, and this is where I just think that he is so sick. You have to be so sick to come up with a plot like this. And yes, of course, absolutely, money, absolutely. Oh yes, wait, I am following Charlie Kirk. I have an article on that I filed, and I'm going to do a video on that as well, because there's a hearing on Friday about excluding the Utah County Prosecutor's Office. So I am following Charlie Kirk. I'll post that later on X for sure. So so he says, let's come up with this fake grape plan. I say grape for the algorithm. You guys know what I mean. And this is where the narrative is just so twisted and just gets so crazy. So they basically use Christine as this avatar for this BDSM website where they find this unsuspecting man, and they are basically acting like they are Christine, saying, I have all these grape fantasies with knives and whatnot. And they devise this plan where he is supposed to come over and act out this grape fantasy. And Banfield or Juliana, whoever was behind this account, and I'm sure they kind of took turns here, basically was like, no matter what, no matter, like, it doesn't matter if I'm screaming, if I look terrified, if, you know, XYZ, you keep going. Like, they were covering all the bases. Like, I mean, it was gross to hear this, like, so gross. And again, opening statements, they obviously, the prosecution has to prove their burden. So, oh yeah, like, they said that she would be sleeping when he was to come over, which she was, because she had the day off. She was a nurse. So Brennan Banfield, as Christine said, I'm going to be sleeping. I want you to come in through XYZ door, you know, tells him how to get in, and says, I want you to cut my clothes off, tie me up, and then grate me. And no matter what, don't stop, no matter what. Also, they told him to bring like zip ties and knives and all this other stuff. So, you know, he would have this evidence. So, yeah, they manipulated this whole thing. And Juliana, that's right. She did talk to him as well. They planned for Juliana to take the kid to the zoo that mornings, and then all of a sudden she forgot her lunch, so she places a call to Christine to be like, I'm coming back, and sees this guy whose name is Joseph Ryan like coming in the house. And so Juliana, part of the plan was to call Brennan Banfield, who was supposed to be at work, but he was at a McDonald's down the street, to be like, there's someone in the house. So he comes rushing home. They all go inside. When I say they all go, they take the little girl who's 4 years old at the time. They run upstairs, and basically Brendan Banfield first shoots Joseph Ryan. And then Juliana, he tells Juliana to do the same, I guess, and shoots him again. And then Banfield turns to his wife, and this is per the prosecutor, and just starts stabbing her like in the neck. And yeah. And then, as the prosecutor said, as she was bleeding out, he's rearranging Joseph Ryan's body to make it look like there was some kind of struggle. Have you heard anything sicker in your entire life? Like, literally, have you heard anything sicker? I honestly, I don't know if I have. And that's why I'm like, this is like a Lifetime movie. I don't know. Then they played the 911 calls for us, which is wild. And 911 calls, they tell us a lot. They tell us a lot. If your loved one is bleeding out on the floor in front of you guys, do you think you're going to call 911 and be like, hi, I'm a federal agent. I just walked in, and I had to shoot a man. I mean, it's almost like the Ellen Greenberg 911 call, right? By Sam. Oh my God, that's so bad. It's like giving us a whole song and dance story that the operator doesn't give a shit about. I'm sorry. The 911 operator does not care. They are trying to determine what the emergency is, you know? Like, so it's like, your wife is bleeding on the ground. That should be the first thing you say. He basically goes into that he's a federal agent. He shot a man. Oh yeah. And my wife is bleeding. Oh, okay. Now you like the third thing that you remember to tell us is that your wife is bleeding. Got it. Okay, cool. Got it. Yeah, that's wild. Totally wild. It was incredibly disturbing. And yeah, this guy's sick. Now, I feel like the defense, I thought they were going to victim shame at first and say, you know, Christine, because I heard this in preliminary hearings, or I didn't hear it myself, but it was the Washington Post, because this is Fairfax, Virginia. They had been attending all the hearings, and they basically said, no, Christine, you know, wanted to have her own relationships as well. Like, it was open. They were definitely shaming her. But when the defense got up to do their opening statement, they really shifted towards the fact that Juliana, the Opair, got a plea deal and was testifying against him. So she pretty much is going to testify and probably walk away with time served and get deported back to Brazil. I don't feel bad for her. I don't care that they have said she was manipulated, that she was, I mean, yes, we can make really dumb decisions in our 20s, But guys, I'm talking about dating the wrong guy or dating the wrong girl. Oh, I was so in love with him. I shouldn't have dated him. He treated me so bad. He was married. He did this. Yeah, I'll forgive you for that in your 20s. I'm not going to forgive you for participating and planning a double homicide. That you know better than that. Come on, right? Am I wrong? I just feel like, yeah, I don't feel bad for you. Like, not even a little bit. Sorry. So, oh, are you? I know. I need to. I mean, we've only got like 51 people watching, so I feel like I'm okay. I can still sort of, well, I think I can sort of monitor, right? I'm kicking the wrong people out. My sweet princess, I'm so sorry again. Listen, if we get bigger, I'm definitely need mods for sure. So yeah, so I don't feel bad for her. Like, deport her ass. Get her out of here. I am horrified. A little girl does not have a mother because of you. Okay? You had the opportunity, Juliana, to report this guy to police. I'm sorry. You could report him once he told you this, what he was planning on. But did you? No. You helped him. You helped him. Shame. Sorry. It's insane. It drives me crazy. So yeah, I might do a story on that later, but I really do want to sort of dive in a little bit more to David and whatever. But oh my gosh, it's 2:00. So I do have to get writing. Tomorrow, I will be attending a status hearing for the pitchers, the Cleveland Guardian pitchers who have been accused of rigging pitches. And this is the Eastern District of New York. So we should get some discovery tomorrow. I'm thinking, I don't know exactly, how long it's going to be, but I am very interested in that case because it's so crazy. These guys are young Dominican guys who are super talented, seemingly just throwing their careers away. I mean, one guy had, multi-million-dollar contract that probably will not be renewed at all at this point. I mean, look, he can't take a plea deal because then you're admitting guilt and you've got these federal felonies, right, on your record. And if he's innocent, great, and he's found innocent, then yes, great, and maybe he can keep his contract. But yeah, I don't know. I agree. I don't think there's going to be an indictment until February or March. Totally agree with you on that. But let me know if you guys have anything else that you would like to say or already have so much money. No. So these pitchers, Dizzy, one of them made less than $1 million. I think he made something like $700,000. But the other pitcher, he made millions. And some of these pitches, he was basically getting like $5,000 skimmed off of the top for some of these bets. And I'm like, or per pitch. So I'm like, that's really weird. Flojo, tips? You know what? Why don't you email my personal email, which is lauren@popcrime.tv. Here, I'll put that in there. Yeah, that's me right there. And sorry, I have this new obsession. I know, now I'm just talking, with blood oranges. They look like grapefruits, but they're not. They're so good, you guys. I swear. I'm acting like I discovered or I invented blood oranges, but lately I don't know what it is. It's not even summer and I'm in New York. It's not even like, in season or anything, but yeah, I'm obsessed with them. Great. Got in my teeth now. Yeah, but they're so good right now. I'm like, oh my gosh. All right. Let me just double check. Anything else I missed? Because I literally cannot believe that it's freaking, 2:00. I also thought about doing a story on those guys in the Diamond District accusing each other of, or one of the guys is accusing the other guy of using his jeweler name and brand to sell shit jewelry. And then they got in an altercation and one of the guys got arrested. I thought about going down there and just kind of asking some questions and filming this guy because I just find all of that fascinating. All right. I guess nothing, I didn't miss anything too much. All right, guys, subscribe, like, do everything. Yeah, everything. This channel, we're trying to grow it. Usually I have Garagos or I have a really smart attorney on with me, or sometimes you just get me. So anyway, thanks for listening and watching. And yeah, tell your friends and make sure you go to lamag.com later for new stories. Follow me on X. I'm Conlin_Lauren. And don't forget to follow LA Mag, which is just at LA Mag. All right, guys. Thank you. Bye.